Momentum, the driving force or advancing strength of a development or course of events. In this case, price. In this video, I will explain the properties of a widely known indicator and tool for trading the financial markets. Welcome back to the channel. This is ARCa, and let's dive in to the Relative Strength Index, RSI. Let's kill 'em, team. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Let's dive into the RSI indicator, and this is something that is widely known and very much used throughout the financial markets, right? So this indicator here can be used in Forex, futures trading, cryptocurrencies, traditional equities, whatever you think it can be used, right? It's a basic momentum indicator, right? And it's separated by two different lines here, right? So the first line that you're noticing here, the very choppy line, is actually identified as the RSI signal, right? So this is the signal line representing what price can be doing during the trading session, right? So now apart from that line, you have one more, right? So this pink line here is identified as a 14-day simple moving average, right? So this, against the price action, or the RSI signal in this case, it can be used for strategies, either for long or for short. Now, let's go ahead and dive in to why this is even colored in the first place, right? So I want you to notice, first of all, that this says right here, ARCa RSI, right? So ARC representing me. This is actually an indicator that I put together myself based around some very fundamental properties of an RSI indicator, right? So your RSI indicator consists of, yes, the RSI signal and your SMA 14 sitting on a pane that is separated 50% at the middle, 70% at the top, to consider anything above this as overbought percentile, and anything below the 30% bottom to be considered oversold percentile. Okay, now the reason why I have this colored in two different sections like this is for this reason alone. Okay, not everyone knows this, and there may be some people to oppose this, right? But I tend to find some success in adding a little bit of physics to the momentum strategy, right? So this upper half right here, it is known as the bullish control zone. Okay, so now the bottom half, just, yes, I know you guessed it, right? That is the bearish control zone. Okay, so now both zones have an inside, right? So the inside working would be the bear weakness percentile, and the RSI weakness, the RSI, yeah, the RSI definitely has this side as being the bullish or the bull weakness percentile, right? So now the outer workings, yes, bull strength percentile and bear strength percentile down here. Okay, so now depending on where or how the RSI signal versus the SMA 14 pivot, depending on how that is pivoted and at what point it is within this area or this area here, it'll gauge that weakness or strength. Right? So let's go ahead and dive deeper into this, right? Because there are zones that we need to keep in mind that are usually used for pivotal points and supports and or resistances. So what could those be? So any juncture here, you see how that you have a juncture here at 40%. Now, mind you, a regular RSI will not have this separation. I do, because I would like for you to observe how much more detailed this indicator can be. Right? So a lot of people use it in different ways, and this is, I'm just going to teach you my way, right? So this juncture here, right? This junction, sorry, 40%. If we can go ahead and just move this to 42%, right? To close it at 42. Let me see if I can get it as close as I can, right? That should do it right there. And bring it down to 38%, which would be the opposing side, right? So let's go ahead and do it just like this over here. There we go. This is called a gravitational zone, okay? So if price action, or the RSI signal, were to come down from that point on top, right, and it starts to kind of wiggle around here, and it starts to kind of dive into this zone here, this would be the RSI signal diving in to the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile. Okay, so gravitation would naturally pull the price action or pull the signal beyond the junction and into the following zone. right? So now the following zone also has its opposing side, right? So it's also gravitation here because it's 2% down and 2% up. So there is a chance here that price action can get a support bounce from this area, but that's not a guarantee. And oftentimes when we're getting pulled because we're already in a large downtrend, right? Oftentimes when we get pulled into this area, we'll continue into that into the next gravitational zone, right? So that's typically how it kind of works. It's not perfect, but it definitely works a lot of the time, right? So now you guessed it right. This exists in every single junction that the RSI has to give. 2% up or down of every single midpoint. Okay, these are the gravitational areas, and they tend to work pretty nicely, right? There's no specific time frame that I'm going to tell you that it works less, except naturally the immediate short-term time frame. So anything under an hour, right, and anything under an hourly time frame will have naturally, a lesser strike rate because there's more iteration happening. There's more variation, right? But when you're diving into the 8 hour to the daily by daily time frames, it has a little more respect, and it definitely has a higher hit rate. Okay, so these are your gravitational zones for the RSI. Okay, so remember that the top area here, bullish control zone, bottom area known as the bearish control zone, and you definitely have your gravitational zones here. The top area of the RSI being this blank area here, that would be called your overbought percentile, and down here would be your oversold percentile. Now, strategies, divergences, all that stuff, that could be separated into a different video, but honestly, I just wanted to make sure that I can get you to understand how an RSI signal or an RSI moving average can work against particular zones of the RSI. But now that you know the breakdown, we'll be able to put this on every video, and you'll be able to identify exactly what I mean, because I tend to use this every single day. All right, team, I really appreciate you for watching this. If any questions, you know where to reach. I have a Twitter, the Twitter X, right? I have a Discord, and also here on YouTube. So do not be afraid to reach out. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. And of course, we always have to remove that. We always have to ask add the disclaimer, right? Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Never, 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 never. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good rest of your day or night, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios. Oh, yeah.